Hi, it's Mark Carrier again, and I'd like to talk today about using in-store incentives to grow your retail marketing database. Now, casting an eye over the next few years, many commentators and economists are predicting the retail industry will continue to face the same headwinds it's been facing since the GFC. Now, there doesn't appear to be much relief for brick and mortar retailers in the short term, and sadly, voluntary administrations are forecast to rise in 2013. Now, the need to think more strategically is imperative and the driving force to offset these challenges. Every day, more and more consumers are using online mediums to find what they want. By their behavior, they are showing us another way that they would like to be engaged. Australian bricks and mortar retailers need to come of age, and many are making the right moves and have been for several years to increase their sales and reduce their sales costs by establishing new pathways to cost-effectively engage with customers. For most, particularly small to medium-sized retailers, the answer is to increase the engagement with their customers through electronic direct mail or EDMs, basically email offers. However, before you can do this, you need to grow your database to have an audience to engage with. Now, you can have the best offers and the best creative executions possible, but if you don't have anybody to engage with or talk to with these offers, they don't account for anything. So there are many ways you can acquire email addresses and contact details for both buyers and non-buyers. However, not all tactics may be cost-effective as you might think. So, our goal is to acquire as many of the right customer contact details as possible at the lowest cost possible. So when planning our tactics to achieve this goal, we should keep in mind three things. First of all, it's a numbers game. You won't get everyone to provide you with their contact details, no matter which tactic you employ. So, be realistic with your projections and test different tactics until you find the one that works best. Then, continue to test against that tactic to find a better way. Next, the retail industry has conditioned consumers to want more for less. Every consumer is looking for a bargain. So, you must consider the value proposition for the customer. Is providing my details worth the pain of receiving emails, mobile text messages, and newsletters? Are you offering enough value in the proposition to your customer to help them offset the perceived pain that they'll have from receiving future communications with you? And lastly, you need to cast as wide a net as possible to acquire as many customer contact details as possible to achieve the lowest cost. The challenge here is to provide an incentive that has high enough appeal to offset the perceived pain of cluttered inboxes, as we talked about earlier. Now, listed here are some tactics to consider when developing your acquisition strategy. Firstly, very simply, just ask them to sign up for your newsletter or loyalty program for free. A lot of people are doing that now anyway, and why not get it for nothing if they'll give it to you? Simply ask the customers and non-buyers too to join your loyalty program or receive your newsletter. It can be very cost effective. The problem though with this tactic is that generally it doesn't have a strong enough appeal to a customer's basic instinct, which is looking for a bargain. So although there is no acquisition cost, participation rates are likely to be much lower. Now for many specialty retailers, this tactic may appeal, but you should also consider a few things when moving forward with this approach. Firstly, although those that sign up are likely to be quite interested in engaging with you this way, many more won't, because they'll just see this as more emails cluttering up their inboxes, and notwithstanding all the cool discounts and special offers you say they'll receive in the future. And another challenge with this approach is that it generally doesn't reach past those customers you see at the cash register. Offering discounts on the next purchase. A lot of people do this, retailers particularly. This tactic involves providing a future discount on a customer's next purchase or receiving a particular item as such as a gift card, or a purchase card that they can use to apply when they make their next purchase. Now, this could be a good tactic as you're providing a reward for signing up, but you need to be careful about the cost. Let's say you're offering a 10% discount off their next purchase as your incentive, all right? Now, would you be happy if their next purchase was $1,000, costing you $100 for their contact details? Okay, we'll fix that, by putting conditions on what they can buy to restrict the likely outlay. Now, they could only use their discounts on items up to $50. Oh, and does that restriction include non-sale items too? Walking in your customer's shoes for a moment, you might be more interested than just signing up with no incentive. However, are there too many conditions and restrictions? Isn't it just too hard? Not to mention, you don't attract the non-buyers in your store either. The other one is look for cross-sell opportunities with other brands or stores. Now, if your operation is part of a much larger group that operates other retail stores, providing discounts to other stores within the group can work out very well in acquiring customer details and also driving traffic to your group's other stores. So, once the cost of acquiring a customer's contact details throughout the group has been determined, you should also consider what cost would be acceptable to drive traffic between stores. So a 10% discount, even for a high-ticket sale, can be effective because you could be achieving 2 sales for the group. And if the customer didn't use the discount for the other store, acquiring their details didn't cost you anything. If you own just one shop, you can use this tactic too by working with other non-competitors, retailers who also share the same customer demographic. Now, this could be very cost-effective and can still be applied to non-buyers because whether they use the discount offering or not, you've still required their contact details for nothing. Now, another tactic that works very well is competition draws. They have a lot of appeal for customers, and if done well, retailers too. One of the best ways to capture contact details from customers and non-buyers alike is to invite everyone that walks into your store to participate in a free draw to win something for nothing. Aside from appealing to their desire to get a bargain, it also provides customers and non-buyers with a larger perceived incentive to offset the pain of parting with their contact details. Now, of course, not everyone will enter a contest, but you'll capture many more customers and non-buyers too, this way than with most other tactics. And you still have another opportunity at the cash register to offer those buyers and high-value customers another incentive, if necessary, to provide you with their contact details. Now, some considerations in conducting competition draws you need to think about are: 1, having a prize of sufficient value and appeal to attract the attention of everyone that walks into your store. And when choosing a prize for your competition, you'll need to consider the demographic and psychographic profile of your customers to find a prize with the broadest appeal. It doesn't much make sense to offer something up as a prize if it doesn't have broad appeal, does it? Also, you have to ask yourself, what can you afford? Successful competitions are usually heavily promoted both in and outside of the store, and they leverage existing advertising materials, what you can add to, and also different channels like your social media platforms to drive greater participation. You've got to remember, the higher the participation rate, the lower the acquisition cost will be. Because you're spreading fixed costs against greater numbers of customer records that you're acquiring. So for example, let's say you offer a prize valued at $5,000 and you have an annual traffic of 30,000 people through your store. Now, with only 23% of your traffic entering the free draw, your cost per acquisition would come out to under $1 and provide you with 6,900 records as illustrated here. Now, for example, prize cost we said was $5,000. Handout cards, I'm just estimating here. You do best to come up with your own cost for that. In-store display, printed newspapers, things like that. Now your total costs are $6,750. So if your traffic is 30,000, 23% of them you get to participate. That means you're going to have $6,900 and your cost per participant is $98. We suggest using contest cards as a great means of promoting the contest in store. Now, these handout cards will have all the information on the prize draw and a URL to your online entry form, which is an easy way to promote the competition to both buyers and non-buyers. Let them take the cards home. When they relax, they'll go on and they will enter the competition. You might also consider setting up an in-store kiosk or a laptop for those shoppers who are willing to enter the competition while at your store. If your competition rate is slightly higher, just say in the case above at 25% rather than the 23%, the cost per participant, that's their contact details, comes out to 90 cents. And you generate another 600 customer contact details. So this highlights the need to have all your in-store staff promoting the competition to everyone that walks into your store. Now, depending on what types of prizes appeal to your store visitors and the costs involved in running your competitions, you need to consider if you should run your competitions monthly, quarterly, or biannually. Now, generally speaking, biannual competitions seem to fit the right balance, and depending on the appeal of the prize, can save you more in the long run. Having said all of this, I strongly advise that before you conduct any competition or trade promotion, you do your due diligence with respect to your legal requirements to make sure that you are compliant and that the records you are generating through your competition, those free entry forms with the email addresses and the mobile numbers, can be used by you for the purposes you intend. Now, there are a number of ways a retailer can grow their marketing database. However, you need to grow your database as cost effectively as possible. And as you do this, you need to ensure that, one, you only pay what you can afford to pay in acquiring both customers and non-buyers' contact details. Use every existing communication channel or medium you currently use to grow your database. And walk a mile in your customers' shoes to understand what they want and what would motivate them to willingly provide you with their contact details. Thanks for listening and good luck with your promotions and competitions. Bye now. Any of the templates that I've displayed, budget templates and things like that, they're all available on my blog, so I invite you to go there and you can download them from my blog or find a link to them, and you can reach that at www.whatsaleadworth.com, or simply send me an email if you're on LinkedIn. You'll find me there, Mark Carriere, MarcCarriere. Good luck and have fun. Bye-bye.